Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
I also like that this commercial for it on YouTube. It's like this South Park post-COVID first look, and then right under it, it's got a COVID-19. Learn more. Get the latest information from the
That's right.
CDC.
Got to get educated.
Well, South Park's going to educate us all about what we look forward to in a few years.
Right. What's
Um,
next?
Okay. Yeah, I guess we got to thank everyone for the Toonie nomination. Thank everyone on the main feed for the Toonie nom, y'all. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We're already an award nominated podcast. Can
That's
you
right.
believe it?
Yeah.
Have we saved the podcasting medium? Is that what's going on?
I think that's what it is. I think we there was a drought,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like we quenched the thirst.
That's right.
I think that you know how when you go to like the like a Walmart, there's like a kiosk that just says like that has an animated movie and it says winner, best picture, best animated feature. I think we should do that on the podcast art and then just leave it there for the rest of the time that we do this podcast.
I think you're right. Toonie nominated podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if we win, just still keep it as nominated too.
Yeah, because that's still true.
It is. Yeah, it's not fucking wrong. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
There we go.
Don't forget about the little guys when you're high up on that pedestal.
I already don't know who y'all are, to be honest with you. I already forgot. I got amnesia, so
that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Hey, you're here, aren't you? You're here on the pod. You're a part of this.
The singular.
That's right.
Oh man, well we're really grateful. We're really happy that y'all like the show and that y'all are listening every week, and we really appreciate it. And we've been having a lot of fun doing these bonus eps for the Patreon. If you don't know, we've got 3 bonus episodes available on the Patreon now for Shrek 1 through 3. You know, if you want to sign up, become a cursed one, you can get 3 extra episodes right now. You also get to listen to these episodes in their entirety a week ahead of time, which is great. And yeah, we appreciate you, and we hope that hopefully we take home the Toonie, and we'll dedicate it to you guys.
I will say we've recorded so many of these now that like episodes just kind of like slip my memory. Like I legitimately I don't remember recording the first Home Movies episode. And then when it came out, I was like, oh shit.
we did this one already.
We did this, yeah. I gotta watch the second season. Jeez.
And that's what we're here to talk about today. We'll get into that soon. But first, I want to talk about the South. We got a trailer for South Park post-COVID, the first Paramount Plus South Park special,
which will probably be out by the time this is on YouTube.
By the time this is on YouTube, it will be out. But the first half of this will be on the audio platforms a few days before that drops. Yeah. So if you're listening to this on the podcast platforms, or you're watching on YouTube through our Patreon, then you're getting it early. But if you're watching this on YouTube after that, then it's already out and you'll already have thoughts. Right. But yeah, this is it's crazy. So I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet, but it's they're flash forward. They're doing a flash forward. Everyone's an adult now.
Yeah.
Crazy. They've never done that.
And you know I think what's funny about it is that I never noticed that they never did it.
The only thing that's close
is my future self and me.
My future self and me. That's the only thing that's close. And then I guess there is the one where the only time they really go to like the future is when Cartman freezes himself to get the Wii.
Oh, for the Wii. Yeah, distant future.
Distant future, exactly. So they don't ever see like the old versions of the characters or anything. Mm. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy thing that I never expected to see, but it's actually, I think, very encouraging, because the one thing I was hoping about these Paramount Plus specials is like, oh, I hope these just feel like something completely different. I hope they really do something new, and not that I didn't want it to feel like it was just the specials we saw the last 2 specials we saw on Comedy Central, but only they're on Paramount Plus now. but this is so wildly different. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. I saw somebody like reply to the tweet, and they said if they stay adults on Paramount Plus but stay kids on Comedy Central, I would be okay with that.
Me too.
That's
oh my
sick.
gosh,
that'd be kick ass.
That's kind of crazy. They would just have two simultaneous shows, one set in the future. Like, are they gonna have kids? Are they gonna be married? What's gonna be going on, man? Is this canon? Is like what's happening?
Are we gonna? We gotta. There's no way they're doing that, and we don't get to see everybody. Like, I gotta see like Wendy and Bebe and shit.
How are they gonna portray Kenny as an adult?
Does he still die?
Right. And also, like, the last time we saw them in the last special, they split up their friend group, and now they're like flashing forward. Is this gonna be? Did they split up the friend group for for that full amount of time? This is gonna be weird.
Man, where's like Ike?
Right, where is Ike? We did see Ike kind of grow up a little bit in that puberty episode.
Oh yeah. That episode's
so
sick.
good.
It's so funny. Oh my god. This is gonna be weird. I'm very excited, very intrigued. And I liked the last gag where it's like, nobody wants another one of your marijuana specials, Dad.
It's an event.
It's an event. It's an exclusive event.
It's an event, yeah.
Oh my god, it's gonna be weird, but I'm gonna make a video about it, so look forward to that. We'll see if I like it. Sure. All right, should we cue the theme song? You guys got anything else?
Nah, man, I don't see why not.
Cue it up.
I've been watching them for years. It's always been something that fit with all the animated characters that's doing their own bits. With a fry who's in the future and a family guy that sucks. With a father from a Hello Burger family runs a month. The show inspires is the same guy, except he totally say and diverse.
Let's watch cartoons that curse.
Yeah, that's bananas.
That's rough.
What the f*** is up, everybody? Welcome to Cartoons That Curse, the podcast that talks about cartoons that say swear words. My name is Johnny. I'm here with my co-host, Tariq. Tariq, how are you today?
I'm alright, man. Got the different world glasses.
I'm glad you brought those back. Although I guess people have only seen them if they're patrons.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to give the non-patrons a chance to see the glasses, to see the fit, to see the drip.
And to see what you're missing on the Patreon if you're not
signed up.
Up.
Get me with the glasses on. I'm a different breed up there with the glasses on. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't I ordered this fucking Bart Simpson flannel and I forgot, and it came to the door this morning.
I couldn't even. I guess it's because my camera and video streaming quality is low right now. I couldn't even tell that that's Bart Simpson. But I like this.
Bart,
big fan.
I think the logo's over here, and on the back it says "Don't have a cow."
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I got it and I forgot, and I was like, oh shit, I guess I'm wearing this to work today.
At some point, we gotta go on a tangent about how good season 33 has been so far.
That fucking a serious Flanners.
It's so good.
Are you
it's
fucking
so good.
serious?
I watched it twice, man. I watched the first episode 3 times.
I watched the first episode twice. I watched the first one. I haven't watched the second one twice. I haven't watched the second one for a second time yet. But the first one, I saw that shit twice. That shit is fucking crazy. If the whole season was like that, I wouldn't even be upset.
Same. I mean, granted, we're 33 years in now, so it's like, just do whatever you want. Do weird stuff. Like we were just talking about with South Park. Do weird stuff. It's great.
That shit was good, man.
But before we get too deep in the weeds on a Simpsons tangent, let's introduce our guest for the second consecutive week, the Wacky Deli. Deli, how you doing today? Welcome to the show again.
Mellow as a cello and solid to boot, daddy-o.
Great. Hell yeah. We're excited to have you back. We're doing if you don't remember, we're having a Deli residency for home movies. So Deli's going to be on here for all 4 seasons. Because who else would we have? No one. It's got to be Deli.
Who else but Quagmire?
And if you haven't watched Deli's home movies retrospective yet, go to their channel, check it out. It's great. It's so good. And I'm excited to talk more home movies. Season 2 is so good. You guys stoked for some home movies?
As stoked as I'll ever be. Let's do it, man.
This is like the best one, so gotta get started.
There's some good stuff in here. I watched these in a weird order because I was traveling like the last 2 days, and I downloaded all of them on HBO Max onto my iPad, so that I could watch them on the plane while I was flying back. But like 3 episodes like had some kind of corruption when they downloaded, and when I would try to play them, they would just shut down the whole app. And so I had to like, I think episode 2 I watched way later, and then I had to like watch episode 11 after episode 12. It was a mess, but I got them all in. So yeah, I don't know, just another indictment on HBO Max's UI, which seems to have a lot of problems. Even though I like their content, you got to get it together, HBO Max UI designers. I mean, it looks good, just make it work better.
Right, yeah, I get you. Yeah. I just watched that other thing they got on there today. That what's the name of that show? College Girls, Sex Life of some shit like that. It was by Mindy.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's Mindy. I always mess her last name up, so I'm not even.
Kaling? I can never tell. Yeah. I never remember if it's Calling or Kaling. I feel like I hear both.
Right.
I think I hear Kaling a lot.
Yeah, she did a new show up there, and the first 2 episodes just came out, I guess, today. I watched them with my roommate. Any
good?
It's all right.
Cool.
It's all right.
I like Mindy. Mindy's cool.
I do too. That's why I wanted to watch it.
Hell yeah!
I'm like a little over halfway through the Mindy Project, which is like the show.
I got a lot of friends who love the Mindy Project. I never watched it.
It's funny. I like it a lot. I've been like crawling through it. There was a point where like I was watching it every day, and then I stopped doing that. But every once in a while, I'll come back and like watch a couple to inch a little closer to the end, because I think there's 6 seasons.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because I was on network TV for a while, right? And then Hulu saved it for a couple seasons.
Right, and I think that's where it finished up. I don't remember the original channel, but
I don't either. It was like Fox or something. I don't know. I'm stoked for HBO. HBO Max has a lot of content I like. They just announced that in January the final season of Search Party is dropping, which is a show I keep plugging on the pod because I'll never stop plugging it because not enough people love it like I do. So if y'all haven't watched Search Party yet, there's 4 seasons on HBO Max. They're all great, and the final season drops in January, and I'm very excited. So plugs there. And I was also hired by HBO Max to plug all of their original content. So
where the fuck is my bag? Shit.
Actually, I was thinking about this. We were talking about South Park. It's so crazy that they sold that huge contract to HBO Max to get the exclusive streaming rights to all of South Park. And then Paramount Plus is like, all right, well, we're going to pay you $1 billion more to make us 14 movies. And then now those will be on Paramount, but the rest of the show is going to be on HBO Max. There's definitely not going to be the show on Paramount. It's weird situation.
You can't, if you don't have both, there's no way you can watch all of South Park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's an incomplete set.
Right.
Yeah. I'm curious.
This kind of stuff doesn't happen on DVD. I'm just saying. Yeah.
It's a good point. You're not wrong. Have they put the specials from Comedy Central on DVD yet? Because I
don't see why they would. So.
Well, they put all the other seasons on DVD.
Yeah, but like.
That's not part of the hustle. They can't get their bag if they put it on DVD too early.
I don't know if they could put like 2. Like they probably would want to wait till there's more stuff to
right. Like maybe the season 24 DVD will come with the specials or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's what I mean.
But I imagine they've got to be on DVD because they put all their stuff on DVD. But I also bet the Paramount Plus stuff will not ever hit DVD. That would be my guess.
That would make sense if it would.
Yeah. They paid $1 billion for it. They're not gonna just let them put it somewhere else.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of the grind.
Exactly. All right.
Nobody else has Paramount Plus for anything.
Okay. To be fair,
I only had it to watch iCarly, man. That's why I had it.
I'm a Star Trek. I'm a Star Trek
only
guy.
for iCarly. Or
like
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Lower Decks. You know.
It is funny though. It's like no one's like, oh yeah, Paramount Plus's library is great. It's always just like, oh yeah, well I like Star Trek, or like, oh yeah, I wanted to check out iCarly, or like I'm gonna be watching it for these new South Park specials. It's real one thing. Everyone's got one thing.
The Nickelodeon stuff that they canceled in 2006. It's there.
Yo, man.
There you go.
Well, I don't know what it is. All that Nickelodeon shit is up there, and it's cool that it's all up there. But for some reason, I am never compelled to watch any of it.
Right.
And
You're
it's
not
just
compelled
all
to watch
right
Just Jordan? The fuck?
Just Jordan ain't up there.
I feel like it is.
Just Jordan ain't up there.
I feel like it is though.
They ain't got no
just
damn
a hunch.
I'll watch some damn. I'll lead this podcast and watch Just Jordan.
Okay,
Just Jordan ain't up there.
Do it.
You know what's gonna win me over with Paramount Plus is once they've got like all the new Avatar stuff. Once Avatar Studios is just dropping all that stuff on Paramount Plus, it's gonna be my most watched thing. Because is that my dog? My dog's whining over there. Sorry.
It's because we're trashing Paramount Plus.
She wants Avatar.
She's a big fan.
She wants new movies.
Ponyo, you like Paramount Plus, buddy?
This is a great plug.
We're doing a bang up job.
All right, so Home Movies Season 2. This was the first full season on Adult Swim. The first season started after 5 episodes on Adult Swim, and then they started animating this one in Flash. So no more squiggle vision. And this one is a little less improvisational than the first season, I'd say. And they implemented some like serialized story arcs, which is really the only season they do that, right?
I mean, I think like from this point onward, the show kind of had more of a solid commitment to like let's actually tell some stories this time,
right?
But this is like the main arc in the show that you can track like a traditional, story arc,
right?
That carries on throughout the season. Yeah,
and it all kind of comes together.
There's a little
in the
filler.
finale.
There's some plot stuff, and it ends pretty well. So, but after that, they were like, "We're not doing this." They tapped out early, and then they still did stories, but they were not really connected. I didn't even
remember that they did this until having to watch it, and like I was like, "Oh shit!" Like we're seeing Cynthia again, and like I mean, like I knew the dad stuff was coming because the first the last episode of the first season
teases it.
But even then they don't do anything with it for a couple episodes.
Yeah, it's like halfway through the season that is dad. The episode dad is like 6 or something.
Right.
But
it
then
seems
once
like
they get into it, they just like barrel ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It feels like there's kind of 3 ongoing arcs this season. You've got the Brendan and Cynthia thing. You've got the what is it? Paula losing her job and the Mr. Lindenson of it all, him coming in a bunch. And then the stuff with Brendan and his dad, but more specifically with Linda and like their ongoing kind of feud and struggles as like to adapt to introducing Brendan into their life, which kind of starts with the first one and then the therapy one and the wedding and all that stuff. So, and then the only thing I guess we can talk about it when we get there more, but like I was watching this last one and I was like, oh, okay. So they bring the Brendan's dad and Linda thing to the wedding. And then and then they also bring in Paula and Mr. Lindenson to like wrap that up in the same episode. I'm like, oh, they're kind of like wrapping up the arcs here at the end. I feel like they could have done something with Cynthia for the final one too, to like kind of make them all come together in that final episode. But
is the one before where he like confesses at the concert?
That is yes, Pizza Club, right?
It's the one right before.
Yes, one of my notes for Pizza Club is really blew it with Cynthia. That's one episode before. So I guess it does like kind of come together there. But yeah, you guys got anything else about the season in general before we dive into 201?
No, let's do it.
Let's do it. 201 is called Politics. I like this episode a lot. This is the one where Brendan runs for class president. And I love his campaign slogan, think big, vote small. Genuinely great campaign slogan.
They hated on Jason when he first said it. It was like, I ain't really fucking with that. But it's the best one.
It's definitely the best one. And then also this is a Shannon heavy episode, which makes it great.
My first note is Shannon with 5 exclamation points.
I love the montage of Shannon like stealing shit in the middle of the episode is so funny. Yeah, this is a fun episode. I like it a lot. Deli, how do you feel about Politics? Not the concept, the episode.
Well, what can we talk about both? But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent start. Of course, anything with Shannon is an instant dub.
Yeah.
But compared to everything else in the rest of the season, it kind of blends in, like it, blends into the background. Because the rest of the season's crazy.
This definitely feels more like just more of like an episodic thing. It almost blends with season 1 a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then they definitely kind of dive deeper into a lot of other stuff later. But it does have a lot of highlights that I think are really good. Like the McGurk stand-up B plot, I think is such a funny idea. Is McGurk thinking he can do stand-up and just
fucking
doing it
like
poorly.
Mom heckles him in like the credits.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, that really is my mom.
That's so funny. But yeah, that's just like when he's like practicing his tight 5 on all the kids at soccer practice and he's just like insulting them. Like that's some vintage McGurk right there. Yeah, do you guys have any other things about this episode that were like that stood out as your favorite moments? I got a couple jokes that I liked.
I think when Shannon tells Melissa that he took all the fucking CDs out of everybody's car, and she says, "Why would you do that?" He says, "It's what I do. I'm a thug."
He's just playing his role, Melissa. He's playing it well.
He's a little pushier in this one than he was in the last one. I think in the last one it was so funny because he genuinely didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and they kind of subverted the bully thing where they like turns out that he's kind of. I mean, I guess it is that you do still have the aspect of he's just playing the role. So like in the first one, he's like, yeah, I'm playing the role of bully, but I still care. Like you could make sure to stretch and call your doctor, like make sure you have your doctor's phone number. Mm-hmm. But this one though, he definitely is a little bit more like overtly bully and like doing up to no good without as much redemption on any end of it. But there are so many funny moments. Like I love when he's just kind of messing around the school and he runs into Mr. Lynch and Mr. Lynch is like, "What are you doing out of class?" He's like, "What are you doing out of class?" and he's eventually just like, "Well, my students locked me out, but that's not the point," which is super funny. I also I love when they're trying to film trying to get him to confess on camera, and he's just like casing the joint. He's like, "Oh yeah, do you have any sort of security here at the house? People here all the time." It's so funny. Yeah, there's some funny stuff in this one. I think I love when they and then I love when they film him in confessing and they just start chanting, "We got Shannon, we got Shannon." And then he just comes back in. He's like, "Nope."
He comes in singing it with them. He's like he's like, "All right, I'll take that." And he just dips over.
So funny. And then I guess like there's one I really liked the one part of the B plot where Paula wins nicest teacher of the month, and
she won't move the fucking flowers.
Yeah, that scene is so funny.
It's a great scene.
She won't move the flowers, and then she goes, and then she goes, "I won best teacher of the year, Brendan." And he goes, "You won nicest teacher of the month." Not neither of those things.
And she said, so "Same difference."
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's like some classic Paula action right there. Really good stuff. Yeah, you guys got any other thoughts on 201?
I like the scene towards the end where Brendan resigns from his post.
Me too. This
is just a pretty good bookend. I think it's the part that sticks with me the most because the rest of the episode, again, it kind of it's kind of a blur, but that it's pretty significant.
Yeah. Ponyo, stop. Sorry, my pup's freaking out. Come here, buddy. Yeah, come here. She might bark for a couple minutes. Sorry. So I also like that they kind of imply that like Brendan actually did win. Like he thinks that he maybe Shannon helped cheat him into his way, but it turns out that he probably did just actually win. Hey, Ponyo, stop. Come here. Come on, bud. Sorry, my girlfriend went to grab the food from the front, and now my dog's freaking out. All right, let me wait 1 second. 1 second. Come here, dude. Come here. Come here. Yeah, stop freaking out. All right, I'm gonna hold on to her until she stops freaking out. All right, let's move on to 202, which is an episode I had to watch out of order, but found to be hysterical. This is identifying a body. This is so this is the walkathon one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a funny plot, but then also just McGurk deciding to take Brendan to identify a dead body is hilarious. I love that plot in general. Is this also on? It's nuts. I mean, it's like this season really starts to weirdly push Brendan and McGurk more into just like buddy territory. Like they're they are as a little bit of it in season 1, but like it almost feels like Brendan is McGurk's only friend. Like that's kind of his thing. He's like, well, the only person he has to talk to or bring along on these things is Brendan.
Pizza Club's like a part 2 on that whole concept.
Totally.
But they, the way they bring it in here is like, it really hammers it home. Like, he's alone. He's floating in a sea of endless turmoil.
He really is. And then he like peer pressures Brendan into using all of his walkathon money while they're out, which is pretty funny. But I love that my favorite scene is after they go identify the dead body and they're just like sitting on the hood of his car looking at the sky. They're just like talking about how crazy it was that they just saw a dead body. And it's like, these are just friends. Yeah. This is weird. This is a weird show. Do you guys have any standout moments in this episode you like?
I think it's fucked up because Brendan has so much money on him and he showed up with rocks. He had to show up to class with rocks.
I know. It's so funny. And McGurk
tells him that he's in charge of Operation Popcorn, and then there's no fucking money in the thing. So he goes, all right, we'll go out there, pass it around, and then come back with popcorn.
I love when he goes to put the rocks in there. And he drops the rocks in, and Mr. Lynch is like, Brendan, did you just put 4 rocks in here? And he goes, actually, it was 3 rocks. It's only 3. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a funny... This one just made me laugh a lot. I found myself laughing at all of the stuff with Brendan and McGurk. I like Brendan's walkathon dilemma, and also Paula asking for a raise, the introduction of Mr. Lindenson. Really, really like that stuff. Yeah. Deli, you got any thoughts on identifying a body?
It's pretty solid. It's a good kind of expansion on, the previous episode and the humor. I noticed that they did give Paula an interesting, well, it's not really a quirk, but she starts drinking a bit more. And I'm sure that's not at all a totally transparent reference to, what's her name? Paula Poundstone?
Right.
Paula Poundstone.
Yep, Paula Poundstone. That's funny. That's really interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, the scene when she asks for the raise is
Man,
the way Mr. Lindenson just starts laughing at her like, don't belabor it, Paula. What do you want?
Man, I'll be honest, the more this season went on, by the fucking finale, I fucking hate Mr. Lindenson. Like,
yeah, but you're supposed to hate him. He's the most annoying.
I can't. When he's on screen, I'm like, oh my god, this scene is gonna last forever. Like, I can't do it, man.
I think he's so funny. I do like. I think they're really leaning into how annoying he is, but I think he's so funny.
I can't do it.
Man.
And character that they add in this season that I completely forgot about. The one guy that's kind of like the guy in Springfield that just kind of has every job.
Yeah.
And then he has a fucking kid, I guess. There's a kid version of him.
And you can't tell what accent he has. He has an accent that's really funny, but I have no idea what it is.
Right.
Yeah, in this season he's in Paula's class and then quits Paula's class. And then he works at the hotel, and he's also like the butcher later when McGurk's trying to sell that sausage. He's all over the place. And then he's got a kid.
The end of this fucking episode is so fucking stupid because him and McGurk are just eating a fucking sausage at McGurk. I was like, why does it end like this?
It's so weird. It's but he is a funny character. He makes me laugh a lot. He's got a funny accent. Yeah, it is weird though. They introduce him this year, and then he's just kind of the everyman. He's like, anytime they need a character somewhere, they throw him in. Yeah. They introduced a few characters this season, like Cynthia. They introduced those Fenton. Fenton's the big introduction, who's really only in one episode. He's in others, but he doesn't. He only talks in I think that one.
Walter and Perry write that fucked up poem about how much they hate Fenton,
which I love. It's so funny. But I'm pretty sure Fenton doesn't say anything. He just looks angry while they're doing it. He's just like really mad at them. Yeah,
so.
He becomes like more part of the cast. Like they did a lot of cool shit with him in season 4, but I'm sure he was more around in 3 as well. But here he was like the one episode that is for him. It's really, really good. So it doesn't matter that he's only in one.
Mm-hmm.
I love Fenton. Great, funny character. We'll get to him soon, but let's see. And then I guess they introduce. I'm trying to think if there anyone's. No, most everyone else is just one-offs. Like you got what's her name from the later. Who's
Linda,
at the coffee place. Oh, true. That's true. Linda and I guess Andrew. I guess that's
Andrew,
big. That's pretty big.
We just know Andrew as a concept before, but
right, totally. So that's true. That's a pretty big introduction. So they do kind of expand the cast pretty significantly this year. Mm-hmm. Cynthia doesn't really. Does Cynthia come back after the season, or is Cynthia kind of a season 2 character?
I want to say that maybe she had a cameo later on, but I don't. She didn't have much like a prominent presence after this one. I think they were just trying to like experiment, and they needed something that wasn't the dad shit to work off of, and they did Cynthia.
Sure. Man, you know who's only here for like a scene? Eric. Where the fuck is Eric?
That's true. He's barely in this season, and he's such a funny character. I really like Eric. He definitely comes back more later, though. Like I remember him being a big part of the show. So like this is maybe just a weird specific season where he's not in it as much.
But he's almost always there in the first season.
Yeah, and he's funny. I think is the only scene when Paula calls for work. Right. Yeah. That's interesting. Weird. You guys any other thoughts on identifying a body before we move on to Hiatus?
McGurk finds out that his entire inheritance is a sausage. But the guy pulls the fucking sausage out of his blazer like this. And I just think that it's nasty that Buddy had the sausage in his blazer.
And then they eat it, and they still eat it. It's so funny. Yeah, that's great. I also love I love when they get to the will reading and Brendan's there and the guy's like, "Is this your son?" And they just start like laughing, but they never explain who he is or why he's there. Right, they just start laughing at him. They're like, no way. It's so funny. They've got McGurk and Brendan just have the funniest dynamic. All right. Well, speaking of new characters, let's move into Hiatus, which is the one that introduces Cynthia. This has always been one of my faves, Hiatus, because the goddamn movie they're making at the beginning is so funny. The fight, Jazz. We're gonna fight with Jazz. It's so funny. I love when they get just really weird with the movies they're making. And obviously that's the point, is that they're like, wow, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. We need to take a hiatus. But this one I found funny because you got a lot of Dwayne action. And I like the Brendan Cynthia storyline. What do you guys think about Hiatus?
Like you said, the Jazz stuff, not only is it really funny, but I think it's animated really good. The way it's animated is really funny. Let's see other notes I have that I forgot that Lynch says Mexico like Peggy.
Right. Mexico. Like they pronounce it. Yeah. That's the other storyline that I'm obsessed with in this episode. Is the McGurk trying to go to Mexico.
I am too. I think that my two favorite things about this episode are McGurk and Lynch going to Mexico, and the fact I just like the concept that Jason flourishes during the hiatus, but then like he just kind of has enough of it, and like he's about to fucking strangle Walter and Perry.
I love Jason as like joining Walter and Perry's little duo. It's so funny to me. But yeah. And then also like the scene that cracks me up so much is when McGurk is trying to get Brendan to go to Cancun with him.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. That shit is really funny.
It's so funny. Oh my god. Deli, you got how do you feel about Hiatus? You like this one?
It's funny. It constantly season two it's constantly trying to one up itself, and so my observations were less like the structure. You need to have a high IQ to understand the structure of this episode. It's more like the background design is like turned up. It's really nice.
Right.
Shit like the shoebox gag, really effective. It's more like technical because they were really getting into the weeds, and they knew what they wanted to do, which was the opposite of what Cartoon Network wanted them to do, but they did it anyway.
That's true. It's funny they bring Mr. Lindenson back this quickly. This is the one when she gets fired, right?
Yeah, and then they get really drunk. This is the first time I wrote the note. I think my note says I kind of hate Paula's boss. This is before I even knew his fucking name. It was like committed to memory. Funny. And there's just multiple notes of me just like not being able to stand, bro. I couldn't do it. I did write that they were drunk as hell. They were drunk as shit by the time Brendan pulled up and like got home.
No
that shit was
doubt.
Rough.
Yeah, especially
he tries to like piss in the corner and shit. Yeah,
he's got his like thing is that he's like kind of an overt asshole. He's just like very flippant and rude, and then he always tries to come back and apologize for it in some way. Like that's kind of his gimmick, right? And in the first episode, he comes back to her and is like, "I'm very sorry about our like conversation the other day." And then he's still flippant and rude when he comes back. She's like, so I can get a raise? And it's like, so what did you ask for? Like a raise? Like, what did I say? You said no. That sounds right. Super funny. One of my other favorite gags in this episode is Brendan being bored from the hiatus and he's coloring in the book. and he's just coloring the textbook, and he's like coloring the words, and she's like, that's not a coloring book, Brendan. He's like, I know. He's like, what is that? One of my books? What book is it? He goes, it's called Disciplining Your Children. It's pretty great.
I like that. I like that Cynthia only pays attention to Brendan when he says awesome.
Awesome? Did you just say awesome? Also, like, that's a word that like isn't cool anymore. Like, are you really saying awesome? Like, you're saying the word awesome. But it's funny. She really does just ignore him the whole time, and then at the end, she's like, "Hey, so we're gonna hang out."
Yeah, is that all for students here?
Oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing at the end though. When they're in Mexico and Lynch is too drunk to remember any Spanish. He's like, he's trying to say "Donde." He's like, "Donde está the hotel?" Where is the hotel? He just can't. He just can't speak Spanish anymore.
It's Spanish, Lynch.
Oh, it's so good. Oh man! All right, you guys got any other thoughts on this one?
I had McGurk would really take Brendan to Cancun before Lynch. Because he asked Lynch already, but then he kind of he asked Lynch, but then he was like, "Oh, never mind. We just asked Brendan real quick."
It's so good. Yeah, that's one of my that's one of the scenes between McGurk and Brendan that I always remember is him asking him to go to Cancun with him. It's so funny. All right, let's talk about 204, business and pleasure. My notes are skimpy on this one. Let me remind myself. Me too, here. Man. Really?
Yeah, I have two notes.
Deli, how do you feel about this one?
Watching this one was more business than pleasure.
Okay, now I remember what this one is. Okay, so this is the one with Eric. Yeah, you're right. Though this is that's a good line, Deli. This was more business than pleasure. I do like the idea of like Jason trying to like woo Brendan for better roles in their movies, right? Like that's a funny concept. Like Melissa and Jason vying for better like more speaking time. But I feel like I don't remember much about this episode. I guess I remember the B plot where McGurk thinks that Brendan's on drugs.
Yeah. That's my first note. I have two notes. My first note is that McGurk thinks Brendan is doing drugs.
Is this the one where he holds the he holds the intervention for him about it?
Yes.
And he's like, "Are you out of your mind?" Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like Jason. I like when Jason is weird. So like there was some stuff to enjoy about Jason just like being weird to Brendan and trying to get him to give him more lines and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this one.
The only thing I got about it is that from an animation standpoint, they do this really, really nice looking shot of like Brendan in the foreground and he's like looking down disappointed, and there's like McGurk in the background talking. And it kind of looks like it's like borderline cinematic the way that they do it. And it looks really good. And when I saw that shot, it made me think about how since this show is more structured now and it's like more script driven or whatever, I feel like that gives the artists more agency to plan stuff like this and like make it look make things look good and spend a little more time on that. Yeah, I feel like stuff like that is like the result. But that's all I got for this one.
That makes sense. Yeah, one of my only notes is Brendan Small is a drug addict, and are you out of your mind? That's like only thing I wrote down is a funny joke that I really like there. Deli, you got any other thoughts on this one before we just move on to a classic?
Nah.
All right, let's move on. Let's move along. 205, The Party. This is the Fenton introduction. My first note is just Fenton is just the worst. They do such a good job making Fenton the worst.
Yeah, this was the first. I said it in the last episode. This was the first episode of the show that I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's got so much that's memorable.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like this was like the perfect first one for me to see, and it totally makes sense why I fell in love with this show. Like, because you get like the movie stuff, you get this, like, you still get Brendan with McGurk, and you get like this situation that Brendan puts himself into, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And the way that it ends in like this really bizarre, like really nice fashion where they're like walking into the fucking sunset and it like pans into the sky. Like, I don't, there's no real reason for this episode to end the way that it does, but it's like, it's like gorgeous. And for that to be the first one I saw, like, I don't know, I feel like all the stars
made a great first impression. It's definitely one of the ones that I just remembered the absolute most. Yeah, it's so funny because it's got the whole Fenton angle, which is hilarious. It's also got I love the subplot of McGurk getting invited to the party and coming and joining, and then also just got the Jason's drunken candy story, which is like one things that I always like really think about with Jason is just like his drunken candy tirade and how much of an asshole he is. Like, I love those little scenes between him and Melissa where she's just like, Jason,
she's like crying.
Yeah, she's like truly upset. She's like, Jason, you're not being yourself. Deli, tell us your thoughts on the party.
There's too many. This is like really one of the best episodes you could pitch to somebody to like sell them on the idea of it, because it's like, it's so smart the way that the composition of the show in general, it just like ramps itself up, but then like how the party, like all the little nuggets of info that are sprinkled throughout the course of the party is just like delicious pizza pie. I think this is like an important turning point for the show in general. Probably like just like the point that it like gets to prove itself, and prove, like, I think that was part of their process too. They're like feeling like this was their valve of competence and proof that they really wanted to do more, and it wasn't just going to be like kids, leading mediocre lives. It was going to be different. The climax is obviously like, memorable. I wouldn't say it's like the only thing that people remember, but it's like, damn, it's so good. Like, all the tension, everything in your life is built up to this one moment. It's like, damn, you really gave McGurk a win. You gave the audience a
big win.
You gave Brendan a win. Mm-hmm. You gave Fenton's mom a win. Everybody gets wins. Everyone gets dubs. Even Fenton, even if it doesn't feel that way. Yeah. And it's just really satisfying to see all that play out. I don't think there was really an episode of, like, home movies, obviously, a lot of it is funny and a lot of it will really grip you. But this one is, different. The structure is actually like reeling you in. It's a very heavy, dramatic like push for something more resolute and emotionally investing. It's just a great experience.
I completely agree. It's just the way the whole execution is great too, because I love how Brendan fucks up initially with the movie he makes. He just does a stand-up routine talking shit about Fenton, which is like a pretty ill-advised plan, Brendan. You can't believe you didn't learn from season 1 with Melissa's grandpa. But the way that he just like tries to fix it, he doesn't let anyone see it. He tries to fix it, and he just films Fenton. And it's so like Fenton's downfall is entirely his own. Like, it's just he's just showing footage of Fenton.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not at all.
He is.
If anything, I think like based off that season 1 episode, he had more of an excuse this time. It's like before he was just kind of being an asshole, but this time it's like,
she told him like 2 days ahead of time.
Yeah, true. It was kind of like experimental therapy for him. Like he
never actually agreed.
He didn't want to make the video film. It was imposed upon him. All right,
video film. That's one of my notes. One of my notes is video film.
Oh, it's great. Oh man, and honestly, just like I can't explain how much I love McGurk yelling at Fenton. It's so fucking funny. Just the way he just completely dresses him down and puts him in his place. And like there's just and it's so cathartic. So cathartic for on every level. Like you're just Fenton is so obnoxious the whole episode and you just want to tell him to shut the hell up, and then someone does and you're like, this is great. This is great.
Yeah. And it came right after that Brendan like reveals the scene, which by the way, like the way that he chose to rat out Fenton was just like magnificent. Like he was playing 4D chess with this man and he didn't even notice because he was bitching about the blue corn chips over the white corn chips.
Right.
And meanwhile, Brendan was like masterminding in his okay, this is how we're gonna get him. Like, it's like you don't expect to see this right after Family Guy,
True. Oh, what a good episode. I love the party. Yeah. Family Guy counter. Bringing it back.
Pretty good, though.
Good shit. You guys got anything else about the party?
I'll read all my notes. One of them says, I never realized how much Brendan reminds me of Phineas. You ever see Phineas and Ferb, Johnny?
I've only seen a little bit of Phineas and Ferb. Only a little bit.
You know what the triangle one, his design looks like? You just started reminding me of
Brendan.
Brendan.
I know his design. But I can't, because Brendan has such a pointy nose. So that's...
And he has fucking red hair. They both have red hair.
And the spiked hair.
It's true.
Yeah, it started...
He's just a depressive Phineas.
It started to get to me a little bit.
I was thinking about how, and this is weird, I was just thinking about, I think it was during maybe the birthday episode, I was thinking about how these kids are like 8, and I was like, oh yeah, so are like the South Park kids. And like I was like, I wonder what it would be like if Brendan interacted with, with the South Park kids.
He would get so nervous.
Or like, and then I was thinking like, oh man, what if McGurk interacted with South Park? Like, McGurk in there would be so interesting. But I don't know, mostly because it's just like they're both such simple art styles. I'm like, they don't look the same, but I wouldn't be weirded out if they were standing next to each other,
No, I would.
I think if McGurk was standing next to Randy, I'd be like, all right. Yeah. All right. Should we move on to 206?
Got
anything else?
Oh, the only thing I got is HONK HONK.
Yeah, when he's doing the stand up.
That was my first
note. His horn just doesn't work. He's just saying honk honk.
And then one of them he laughs at the end of it.
Yeah.
I also like that he filmed it bad, so it's just like the top of his head.
That's the best part, is that he fucks
it up. Look at the top of his head.
Oh man. All right, well, let's move on to 206 Impressions, which is another episode I really like. This is the introduction of Starboy and the Captain of Outer Space, which is one of my favorite ongoing things in this show. So weird. And then this is the one where Brendan takes Cynthia on the date, right? To Jason's club.
Right.
And then also Paula's trying to take that what kind of test is it? Is it for like the job placement? Is it like for the employment agency or something?
It's a typing test.
A typing test,
typing
right?
Test, that's what it was.
But my favorite thing about this episode is just the end when they're both in trouble. and Brendan caused to call his mom, and they're both sitting there getting dressed down by these people, and they're just like, I'm getting kicked out of this country club for impersonating Jason. It's like, Brendan. Yeah. What do you guys think about impressions? You guys got any thoughts on this one?
I love when that happens. I love when like they both end up in like really bad situations.
Yeah.
And either neither one of them can tell each other about what's going on, or like only Brendan has to. Like Paula doesn't have to, so she always kind of when she's fucking up, she just kind of keeps it to herself. But
she also just like never really gets mad at him. She's like, all right, damn it.
It's just another Tuesday. Whatever.
Exactly.
I have Brendan is not Jason in all caps. I don't remember why.
It's because he's pretending to be Jason at the club, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember why I felt compelled to write that in all caps. Right. Then this was, I guess this is the second time we see Cynthia, because I was shocked that they brought her back.
Right. Yeah, they bring her back. So this is like, we see her 3 episodes this season, I think. Or is it 4? Do we see her? I think it might be 4. So it's like a little mini arc, and this is kind of where everything goes wrong. And then he kind of gets an opportunity to win her back later and blows that too. But this is really where he blows it. He just really, really blows this date. One of my I think it's my note in every Cynthia episode is Brendan is really blowing this. This one I wrote Brendan's really blowing this date.
I can hear that in McGurk's voice. Like, man, Brendan, you suck at this. Like,
oh, Brendan, you really screwed it up. Brendan.
Last episode of the season, McGurk kind of sucks at it too, man.
Dude, but we'll talk about it when we get there, because I was just confused.
All right. I thought I was tripping. All right, we're gonna get there.
All right. Yeah. The other thing in this episode that I'm obsessed with, and I was laughing so hard, was the guy who's like giving her the typing test, giving Paula a typing test, when she's like, when going, life is a test. Life is a test, Paula.
Oh, Paula.
Oh, Paula. I can't believe I was attracted to you. And then the other guy's like, me too. And she's like, all right, this is weird. I've never even met you. Oh man, that voice is funny. The guy who's like working at this, giving her the typing test, that voice he does is super funny. Oh, Paula. Life is a test. All right. Oh, and then I also just wrote how much I fucking love the Starboy song. It's one of my favorite songs in the show. It's so good.
He wants to be alone.
I just like Dwayne's songs are so funny. Yeah. I love them so much. You can tell why Brendan Small was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna make a show that's all music after this.
Yeah.
All right, Del, you got any other thoughts on impressions?
Nah, this one left me with a lukewarm impression, I would say.
Are you gonna do corny stuff like that for the rest of the pod?
Yeah, he's killing it with these.
No, for another half hour.
Nah, keep it up, please. Keep it up.
One of us wants you to keep it up, and one of us wants you to stop. I wonder which one is which.
All right, 207, 7th episode when they bring in Andrew. So this is Dad. I love how awkward the introduction is with Andrew. Like, it's such a natural awkwardness when Brendan goes to spend the time with his dad for the first time. Like, they both don't know what to say. But they start to riff and like connect pretty quickly in such a like genuine way. I really like their bond and relationship in the show.
No, I do too. I really love what their like relationship ends up becoming, and you really see that Brendan gets a lot of like the corny awkward shit that he does that they established that he doesn't get from Paula. He very much so gets from Andrew.
Right.
Yeah. It's all like that there. Scene where where they're having breakfast in his apartment. It's like, shit like that. It's like, yeah, like I get it. Like this is clicking.
This is all shit that Brendan would do by himself, and now there's just a bigger version of him doing it too.
I wrote my favorite joke in that scene is when she's pissed that he used his towel, and she's like, "Did you use my blue towel?" And Brendan goes, "Well, what? Maybe. What color was it?" That's so good. And then this introduces Linda. Yeah,
it does definitely. I like when Jason is talking to Brendan and Melissa, and he says, "One night I walked into my parents' room and my parents saw me naked."
Yes, you were naked
like,
when you walked in. Oh my god. I also liked his I like that this season goes to a lot of lengths to I feel like they did a little bit in season 1 and there's always a degree of this, but this season did a lot of the movie he's making is really paralleling what's going on in his life. And this one it's very blatant because he's showing his dad the movie and it's so clear. He's with the towel thing or whatever, or the cape thing.
But when his dad brings it up, he doesn't know what he's like, what are you talking about? So I feel like that's what I thought was really interesting, is that it was subconscious. Yes,
exactly. Me too. Yeah, I and that makes sense. He's a kid who's creative and he's made 500 movies or whatever. So he's maybe not realizing where he's getting all these ideas from. But that was really funny. And I like that his dad was just all right, what's going on here, Brendan? What are you trying to tell me? The other joke in this episode that cracked me up is when they're at dinner. They're all at dinner together, and Linda is she's trying to throw shade at Paula, and she's like, "Are you seeing anyone? Are you going to be able to get a date before the wedding?" And Paula's like, I am actually seeing someone, a little someone named Mr. Television. And Brendan goes, Milton Berle? Mom, he's so old. It's so funny. And I love that he just had that ready to go. It was so funny. Oh man. This is a good one. Deli, you got any other thoughts on Dad? Anything stood out to you on this one?
It was just a really sweet episode. And it all goes to crash and burn next time.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that one's a better bit, and I can explain why for eons. But it's just very satisfying, especially after Impressions, which I didn't dislike, but I did find it very painful to watch. It just wasn't after a while, it just wasn't very funny. It's when
Brendan is
striking out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's not even striking out. He's hitting himself in the kneecaps with the bat. Yeah. It's
totally.
I checked by the time Dwayne and them pulled up. I was like, all right, man, this shit is nuts.
Yeah.
He in trouble. You in trouble, cuz.
Yeah, I don't know. So this was a good little palate cleanser for that, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's a good one. Big fan. All right, you guys is that it? You want to move on to therapy?
Let's do therapy.
Let's talk about therapy. All right. So this episode, very quickly, does Andrew, Linda, and Brendan need to go to therapy to get their shit together?
I feel like they jumped a little ahead.
Yeah. But oh my gosh, is the therapist is so annoying. The whole thing about not being able to say should is so fun. It's such a funny bit, but also it's just why? Why?
It's real.
But why?
Because
why?
It's I think the principal thought is that should makes you harp on things that haven't happened or didn't happen. Right. So instead of should or telling somebody what they should do, you should offer or something like that, or look at things in a different way. I know that's kind of really, it was explained to me on an episode of Insecure, but I think that's what the thought process is. But it's weird. It is a real thing, and the fact that this therapist is super fucking anal about it.
Yeah,
and he's
every time they say should, he goes,
worst.
"Ouch,
yeah.
ouch."
I know you know about gentle talk.
He's the fucking worst, and the fucking and he keeps calling Andrew dad, and Andrew's like, "Yo, my man, don't call me that shit." All right?
Yeah. Yo, I can feel that shit.
I know, it's so annoying, and then. The way he keeps saying "ouch" every time, in the middle of them explaining themselves.
Ouch! Brendan, I'm concerned with your behavior.
And then
fucking Linda says that fucking half-baked ass apology with like very strategic wording, and then he's like, "Oh, Brendan, like, do you need to cry?
Do you need to cry? If you need to cry,
I think I'm gonna be okay."
You did it just as the book said. Good job.
What did he say? He said that is what the doctor ordered.
And then the slow clap. Yes. We did something good today.
It is a satisfying ending, even though I don't think the message at the end of like Brendan being like, "'cause therapy sucks," I think that's a bad message.
I do.
I do think in the context of the episode, it's a super satisfying ending. Because God, you just hate that guy the whole time.
Fucking sucks. I was kind of giving Linda the benefit of the doubt in the last one, but here I was like, oh yeah, she fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I like Brendan's movie in this one.
Yeah, I do too.
And he keeps shrinking.
Yeah. He keeps shrinking. It's really funny, and then the way that they do the set where they have like with the cardboard in the hand. That's really it's like I love that shit is so clever, man. I love that.
I love it.
That's great. Yeah. Let's see. Was there any? What was the B plot in this one? Was there anything else? No. Was there any McGurk story going on?
What was the B plot? I don't remember. I don't have any notes about a B plot.
I don't either.
These three, like goobers in therapy, were their own B plot. They were out in the world. They were trying to do gentle talk. That was the draw.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. Well, I like this one. I think it's funny and a satisfying ending, and I have very few other thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Anything else?
I agree, but no.
Yeah, therapy I think is my favorite episode of the whole show. I don't know if it's the one that I first watched. I know. It sounds kind of crazy.
It's a good app. I like it.
Yeah, we would just, but like, for you to be as quiet as you were just now.
I didn't want to steamroll y'all because I could talk about it for like 20 minutes, but I'm gonna
steamroll away. Tell us why you love it. Come on.
I think that it's actually very clever, and it builds on some of the last episodes, like the party and Dad, and trying to like ramp up that narrative development. The movie was a big plus for me, obviously, because it does add some nuance. Obviously, we fucking hate this therapy guy. He's a dick. But of course, if you watch the movie in the context of everything that's happening, it's kind of like, I don't know, Chief. You might have to take his advice on this one.
I think it's a really clever metaphor, like his character shrinking and everything like that. Like I do think that's it's really smart.
And you can't even give Brendan like a little wiggle room, because when they watch it in session, and when he's like, "Well, Brendan, what do you have to say?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I made a good movie. It's me. You can tell because of my nose." And it's like, in real life have these issues.
Then he asks the guy, he says, "Did you like it?" And then he says, "It's
fine."
Okay.
I know. But I was more interested in your fucking brain, dude. Like, what's going on in there? Like, I think that the whole episode in general is just very smart. And I disagree that the ending is a bad message. I think, because it's home movies, right? Like, whoever's watching it can probably take it. But it's like, it's not the experience itself. It's like the content that matters, right? And you could say that this is a parallel motif for like the show, right? It's not the experiences that you have. It's like what happens during those experiences. Doesn't matter that Andrew moved on, and he has another wife and he has a great job and the apartment and everything. If he's, didn't get to see Brendan up till this point, and, after he left, and he's dealing with all this shit from Linda, and now he has to juggle both of those things, and of course Paul is still there, and the therapy session is kind of just like a starter's round of that, because once you compartmentalize that was like the main theming, that carries into like everything else that the show has done. the whole point of the show is like, you know, it's okay to like be a little fucked up. It's okay to be different. It's okay for you to make mistakes, and it makes it funny. You know, like people like Mr. Rogers would be like, yeah, I mean, you don't have to do anything special for you to be loved and wanted. And home movies is like, man, just live your fucking life. It's like proto BoJack in a way. I know that's bold words, but you know, to me, it's like therapy is kind of like just a good dovetail off of that. And not only is it just like really funny and it's well structured, but I think that it's double talk for the series itself and what the series is trying to say, even after they abandon all this, you know, arc shit, even after they, you know, start doing stuff like the Ren Fair and Septipus, you know, it carries all the way throughout to the end, up to Focus Grill. These
You're
are
right.
You know, these are things that you start to, and it's framed in the context of these like fucked up therapy sessions, but it actually is kind of a therapeutic experience. Actually, you know what? I'll shut up because I can't say anything else after this line. It would be in your best interest to watch therapy again and again and again and again and again and again. It is the guidebook on home movies.
Hell yeah. Shit. Got that was a whole thesis there. That was great.
You win.
And honestly, it was so funny.
And the war.
The moment you said Septipus, I started in my head going Septipus. I totally forgot about it till you said it, and it was just in my brain. Like, oh yeah, Septipus. Man, that was great. That's a great thesis on therapy. I'm gonna rewatch this episode a few times now.
It'd be in your best interest.
I think it would be in your best interest.
You should.
Well,
Ow.
I think it would be in our best interest to move on to 209 Class Trip.
We should.
Ouch.
Hey, that was a great. We got more in on therapy than any other episode. That was a good little tangent there. I liked it. What? You guys, unless you guys got anything else on therapy, should we talk about anything else? I feel like Deli, you did it justice.
I've staged everyone. I win.
Yeah, you do.
Ah, damn it, Deli won the podcast. Now this is his. It's your podcast now, Deli. You're the new host.
This is the Arthur podcast now.
That's a crazy idea for a podcast. What if there's a podcast where it's somehow a competition every week, and the winner is the host, is the new host.
We had a plan to do something like that, but with cartoons. We were gonna call it the
cookout thing.
Yeah,
cookout. It's like a gauntlet where like they go up against one another.
Every week we were supposed to like review a new cartoon, and everyone would go round robin and like talk about their thoughts, and people would vote on whoever had the best like analysis or who was like the most captivating, and whoever won out of the vote would pick the next show for everyone to watch.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that idea a lot. Cool. All right, let's talk about
Cartoons that Curse spinoff someday.
Shit.
Cartoon cookout. Cartoon cookout.
Cookout.
Make it happen.
Hell.
I'll bring the beef.
Hell.
All right. 209 is Class Trip. This one of my only notes is in the den. That is one of the hardest I've laughed at one of their movies. In the den.
I'm just reading. In the den.
Oh my god!
I love that the accent guy comes back and he's willing to beat up Fenton and then beat up Lynch.
Yeah,
that shit is hardcore. It's like you cannot fuck with this guy. He's got skills.
He's so funny. And then I like McGurk's subplot where he breaks the coffee machine and has to find a new job just to pay for the machine. And so he steals Brendan's identity to work at the coffee shop with the girl who's like, my boyfriend calls me Lil Mama.
Yeah. And he says I can't get caught up with a coworker. And he says, wait, how old are you? I'm 18. Well, maybe I can.
Yeah, I could. He goes, I could potentially get involved with a coworker.
Wait. Then he asks the fucking girl. He says, he asks the girl if she was born on D-Day, and I thought that shit was so funny. It's some sick shit.
Oh man. Oh my god. This is a funny one, especially the movie they're making, and also just I love the premise. I like when they get deep into like how they're trying to make their movies, and like this is one where it's like, well, we're gonna go on a field trip to the hotel, so let's try to steal some shots while we're there. We can try to shoot the movie, and then we get a location, then we get a real location. Like they're really trying to add a little bit of production value to their movie, and that's just I like that. I like that stuff as as someone who's made movies and knows how hard it can be. Like watching an 8-year-old be like just making it work. I'm like, cool, good work, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also like Paula accepting to be the chaperone and her just kind of being overwhelmed by it. But the thing that cracked me up is, what's the girl's name who's
Allison.
Allison. And then they're like, wait, who's Allison? Like, they say she's the one who's most likely to run away. And she's like, who's Allison? And she's like, she's the one who's getting in the cab over there.
Getting in the cab right now.
The fucking loose cannon, fam. She's like hanging on the fucking like telephone like. And when they're riding back in the bus, she gets a call and she's like, "Okay, we're good. They found Allison. She was at the airport."
She was at the airport.
What the fuck?
It's so funny. I like. I also love at the end when they're trying to get the shot at the coffee shop and they run into McGurk and Brendan is like, Brendan and McGurk keep referring to each other as Brendan. He's like trying to help McGurk keep up his thing. It's so funny. It's like, I don't know. This episode is like, it doesn't feel like that deep to me, but this one just makes me laugh so much.
I love this one. This is one of the ones I brought up last episode. One other thing about that scene that I just remembered that McGurk didn't fucking have to do, but he did it anyway. When Paula comes and she's like, "Brendan, what are you doing?" And his co-worker's like, "Who's that?" And he says, "It's my mother." Why the fuck did he do that? Like, he didn't. You could have just said that was his mother and it would have still made sense.
It's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, this one is so funny. It's just like, this one is the one that I didn't even write that many notes for it, but I just remembered so many funny things from it. It's just such a funny episode. Deli, you got any other thoughts on Class Trip?
Nah, it's pretty smart. That whole breakdown in the coffee shop is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And it can't be topped. It can't be topped, really.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, let's move on to 210 history. This one, I don't know what this episode, like what happened in this episode. Like, I feel like this episode makes me laugh a lot, but I felt like watching this episode was like a fever dream. I was like, what?
And I guess like the first act damn near is just the fucking Starboy movie.
Yeah, and then it gets so weird. Like, it's full on Starboy and the Captain of Outer Space, and then it transitions into the "I'm glad you asked about that thing."
I'd like to do this thing.
It's so funny. It's so funny. But man, I just like, what was the plot? What was the plot? Oh, the plot in this one is he's failing history, right?
He's failing history, yeah.
Right.
Which, in an interesting bit of foreshadowing, in the first episode of the season, part of his campaign is saying how you should just be able to watch history books.
That's true.
Yeah.
instead of reading them. And yeah, that kind of comes full circle. He fucking fails history in this one. And the fucking production value on Starboy is nuts.
Dude,
fam.
I love Starboy so much.
That shit is so fucking rad.
We're gonna make. Sorry, go ahead.
Fucking crazy. He goes insane on that shit. And I think what's funny about it is that like Paula can see that it's like, I feel like you're spending way too much time on this and not your fucking schoolwork. Because why does it look like this?
We need to make the thumbnail for this one Starboy. It's got to be Starboy themed because Starboy is so good.
Yeah, he is.
Man, I love. I mean, it's it's just silly, and I like all of their movies when they get really deep into it. But like the movie is good, and is this the one that also introduces? Or do they do more Starboy later in the season, or is this like the bulk of the Starboy? Because where's the Mr. Pants? This one has the Mr. Pants.
Mr. Pants
song,
is
right?
in this too. Yeah,
I love Mr. Pants. Mr. Pants. Actually, Mr. Pants.
The song is rad.
The song rules, and also the Mr. Pants costume is actually pretty cool. Like the cat, I like his cat hat that like the teeth come out and he's like come to here. I just think I love how everything in Starboy looks in this episode. But yeah, I just felt like it was weird. Like I felt like, oh man, this is mostly Starboy. And I almost forget about the rest of the like actual what's going on with Brendan stuff.
Yeah. I just remember McGurk being a horrible tutor.
I wrote that down. This is my favorite. I wrote this down. He goes, "You probably don't even know who did the Gettysburg Address." And he goes, "Yes, I do. It's Nixon." He goes, "That's correct." It's so funny. Oh my god.
I like that Lynch is such a dickhead in this one.
He is. Oh my god. Like, when he's just. Drum roll.
There's your ad.
He goes,
Congratulations.
I failed, didn't I? And he goes, well, take a look. You might be surprised.
They talked about like giving him like they were waffling between like giving him like the win and then not, and then at the end they were like, no, we can't. we gotta make you gotta keep continuity.
Yeah. What was it? I don't even remember what the question was, but when Lynch is giving him a hard time about his test, he goes, for this one, you answered Count Popula, the Pope's cousin who has pencils for arms. Oh my God. Yeah, like this episode baffled me, but also just made me laugh so much. It's a good one. I like it. I agree. Yeah, you guys, any thoughts on history? Anything else?
History takes me back to the past.
Brendan, his George Washington character, he says that he was born in 1492 when he freed the slaves.
I mean, yeah, he thinks Nixon gave the Gettysburg Address, so
right. Yeah.
I like when Lynch is asking him about George Washington. He's like, "What do you know about him?" And he's like, "Well, he was I guess he was the first president." He's like, "Yep, he was evil." That's so funny. All right, are you guys any thoughts, or should we move on?
Let's keep it going.
All right, 211, writer's block, a relatable episode. I like. I actually didn't write that many notes down for this one, but oh man, did I love how it kind of all came together. With him just kind of last minute being like, all right, we're doing the Rice musical.
Yeah, Rice is nice, but it's just a green.
A wild rice.
Wild rice. Yeah, they're doing all the different types of rice. It's so funny.
And they fucking love it. Like the audience is going crazy after it.
They smashed it, man. They ate that shit up. That shit was a smash hit. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a good one. I also love the beginning when he's like when he's filming the movie but doesn't have a script, and he's just like, all right, like react as though you're feeling this or whatever. I found that to be pretty funny. And they're like, I think Jason's just like, I have a little constructive criticism. I think the movie would be better if it had words in it. It's pretty good. Drake, what do you think about writer's block? The concept. How do you feel about
the concept? It was funny watching this episode because I had just gotten out of writer's block. I went through hell trying to write that recess shit.
Yeah.
Which will probably be out by the time that this whole thing is on YouTube. If it's not, I'm fucking sheep. Oh, okay. All right. I got. So this is the one where McGurk has insomnia.
Yeah, it's the insomnia episode.
Now, did you guys see when that guy on Twitter was doing the 30-day sleep fast?
Yes. Oh God.
That is all I could fucking think about the whole time I was watching this one.
He did another one where he just ate, I think he was eating like a waffle every hour at Waffle House for 24 hours, and it was like the slow descent into madness is so similar to that.
Shit like that, man? All right, so let me inform Johnny on what exactly. There was this guy on Twitter where he got on the camera and he said, "Yo, I'm about to do a 30-day sleep fast. I hear that it's supposed to be like good health benefits, like a whole crock of bullshit that obviously isn't fucking true." So he posts a video every day, and you just see him getting worse and worse. And like there was one where like his muscles, he was like this because he couldn't fucking move, and he's like, yeah, because
my god,
because his fucking muscles never relaxed. So then he took a bunch of muscle relaxers in the next day, and he was in the car, and he's like, I can move, I'm all right. And then the video after that was like, hey, so some of you guys saw yesterday that I went for a drive. My car is currently in the river. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this?
You went for a drive?
Yeah.
Drive without
on like sleep, day 6 of like no sleep. And he didn't
oh my god.
I think he stopped at like 10. And when the way I found out about this was because a friend of mine called me. My friend he called me, and he was explaining to me, like, yeah, like he not sleeping, like he was telling me all that, and he showed me the videos, and I just instantly, it captivated my mind. Like I was fascinated. Why the fuck would you do this?
I gotta watch these, man.
So I went and looked up what I'll send it. Yeah. I went and looked up the record. I wanted to see who the fuck who went the longest without sleeping, and it was a guy. It was like 12. It was anywhere between like 12 and 14 days. I think he went without sleeping, but it wasn't on purpose. I don't think.
Yeah, he just had real insomnia.
Yeah, and then he actually, when he fell asleep, they said he slept for like 40-something hours or some crazy shit like that. And yeah, the guy in question is still alive today, and they said he still suffers from like very bad effects. Like sleep-wise.
Yeah.
And this guy was trying to do it on purpose. That's fucking crazy,
it was the fucking 30-day sleep fast dude was trying to do it on purpose. And if you look at his Twitter, all he does is smoke like Black and Milds and shit. Like it's, man, I was like, man, this shit is crazy. Cause nobody should do that. I want that to be perfectly clear. I do. If you need me to say it for whatever reason, I obviously believe people should not behave this way. But I was just so fascinated by like, why the fuck would you do that? And like I was talking to my friends and I was like, yo, do his people just not love him? Because I would have, Johnny, if you would have told me you wasn't going to sleep, I would get on the plane and kick your door down and make you go to sleep.
It's crazy because like the way that like each update is set up, it feels like it's like this is like a skit, like this is like a film, but like he's obviously like fucking killing himself. It's like Man, why?
He was dead ass.
We don't need another Steve-O in this world. All right, one is enough. You don't need to do this shit.
Why would you do that? Like, I couldn't understand it, and that shit is not cool. I didn't think it was cool the whole time I was looking at it. I was just fascinated that there was somebody out there who brain could get to the point where they're like, man, I'm about to just stay up for 30 days and see what happens. Who the fuck thinks that? And he called it a fast. You know what a fast is?
Yeah.
This is my fucking 30-day cleanse.
Sleep fast.
This is my fucking dopamine cleanse. Here we go. No sleep, boys.
I couldn't, man.
150 likes and I'll do it for another month. Like
I couldn't believe that shit, bro.
That sounds horrible.
It was fucking terrifying. There was just Man, I don't want to go into. I'll tell you about it later.
And then I like
McGurk's transformation was absolutely crackheaded, and it was very reminiscent of that.
Yes,
that's
fair.
Absolutely.
It was pretty funny, and then I like that he by the end he's just like, oh, I need to get a DVD player. I need to save up for that DVD player.
Yeah.
When he's like, he wants to stop, and then he's just like, oh wait, they pay me for this. All right, I'm never sleeping again. The things that McGurk will do.
The final phase of his design is crazy. It's terrifying.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That shit is
I also like at the end when he's mad and he passes out, and the students who are doing the study are just like, he was a good subject. I better call the police.
Yo, I hate them. Like, they're kind of assholes.
Yeah.
They were stringing him along, like, when he was, like, almost over the finish line, and then they kicked him out because he fell asleep. It's like,
right.
You might as well just give him a conciliatory prize. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's true.
What are you doing?
All right, you guys, any thoughts on writer's block?
This one has the We Hate Fenton poem that I talked about.
The We Hate Fenton poem is so fucking funny, man. Walter and Perry really shined in this season. I feel like they were they're barely in season 1, and this bit, and then in the bit in the wedding, I was just like, oh my god, I love Walter and Perry so much.
McGurk. I feel like out of all the times McGurk has flipped on Melissa, this is the one time it was justified, because he said he can't sleep, and she says, "You ever just try closing your eyes and relaxing?"
Yeah, and he's like, "Did you try laying in your bed and closing your eyes and just just describes how anyone goes to sleep? Like, did you try that?"
He's like, "Well, listen here. Melissa says that the key to call it on insomniacs. Melissa says that the key to going to sleep is to go to sleep."
It's so good. It's so good. Oh man, God, I love these characters. What a good show. I've been watching it with my girlfriend too, because I mostly watch it before bed. Like it's kind of always been my nighttime show. Like it's which I think I'd maybe described last time. It's like a show. It's just a show that like helps me giggle myself to sleep, because it's not that punchy, you know what I mean? It's like so conversational. Mm-hmm. But then when it does punch you, it like really punches you with the joke. But it's been really fun to watch with someone who's never seen it and doesn't really know much about it. And she's just kind of been like, she just like, it feels like the whole time she's like absorbing it and enjoying it. And then sometimes she'll just laugh so hard out of nowhere. It's kind of a good representation of the show, I think. All right. Should we move on to Pizza Club?
Let's do it.
I love McGurk trying to join the Pizza Club. I just like,
he is fucking jealous of Brendan's dad.
He is. It's because we've established in this pod, Brendan is like McGurk's only friend. Mm-hmm. And I think he like kind of sees himself as a surrogate dad figure a little bit, right. Even though they're more friends. Like they're definitely just friends because Brendan's a child and McGurk like kind of has the mind of a child almost. It's so funny how he tries to insert himself. Like he keeps asking for all the details of the Pizza Club and trying to drop hints that he wants to be like, how it must be cool to join a pizza club. I'd like to be in a pizza club. And then he just shows up at the pizza place and they're like, oh, you're taking that to go? Not can I eat here? Yeah, I think it's a good it's just a good piece of character building for for McGurk. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I definitely agree. You're right though. He is kind of like a kid, and he kind of acts that way. I like how like when Brendan introduces the concept of the pizza club, he's like, "Well, I like pizza too. I'm not gonna join the fucking club about it." Like he's instantly, automatically, he's like, "Oh, I ain't fucking with that shit." But like the more he thinks about it, he's like, "It would be nice to be included."
Yeah, you know? Yeah. He's like a whole club for pizza. It's pretty stupid, Brendan. And then by the end, he's like, need to be in that club. Oh man, Deli, what do you think about Pizza Club?
It's just kind of interesting, you know, following McGurk's little character arc, and when he finally gets into the club, he doesn't really know what to do with himself. It's like, okay, well, I didn't think I'd get this far, so
right, yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah,
I do think that like I like this one, and I like a lot of the ideas in it, but I do think it's not like super memorable.
Yeah,
and like I was a little bored like when watching it. And then this is the one with the extra Cynthia stuff, and by then I was kind of burnt out on her, and she came back out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's part of what because I knew like impressions on her. I was like, oh, this shit is gonna be a circus, but you know, it's like, why are you know, they're just trying to wrap up the arc, so like, oh, we're going one more time, like,
right.
Yeah,
they kind of wrap it up. I was thinking, well, we'll get into it in the next one, but I was feeling like, I mean, maybe they just needed some more to fill this one out, because this one also had didn't this one also have Paula trying to act in Brendan's movies?
Oh shit, that is this one, isn't it?
Yeah, and that has some funny moments. Like I love the end when she like just fails miserably and she's like, I think I'm ready to direct. It's pretty funny, but and it's also just like a byproduct of her being bored because she still hasn't found a damn job, you know. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do with Chloe?
She fumbles the shit out of that movie at the end of the episode to the point where she couldn't possibly think that she did good. But she just ignores that and just says, "Yeah, I think I want to direct now."
She's window dressing.
It's pretty funny. So I guess this may be a good way to transition into the finale, the wedding. But I felt like, and granted, maybe they just needed more to fill out this Pizza Club episode. But I feel like they could have. I feel like they could have ended. They could have wrapped up all of the seasonal arcs in the wedding episode, because you've got Mr. Lindenson and Paula in there, and then you've got like the Linda Andrew wedding. I feel like you could have made it so that Brendan's rash was what like blew it with Cynthia. Like, what if he gets a second chance with Cynthia as his like wedding date, you know, or something like that, and then it all comes together and blowing it just because he's like trying to hide the rash from not only the wedding but from Cynthia too, because he's like trying to win her back over. Maybe it would have been a little too overstuffed, but I kept thinking like, oh, you know, it felt like the Cynthia arc fizzled. And this one, and then it felt like, oh, well, they got the other two in this one. Like, why didn't they try to bring them all together?
Oh yeah,
if Pizza Club served up a spicy meatball, then the wedding serves up the whole banquet.
God. Can we go to the finale so I don't gotta hear another one of these? What the
fuck? Well, you're not torturing. You don't get real jokes.
Don't make me mad on my podcast, bro. We invited you here. You know what I mean? You cute little dog.
I'm a resident, bitch. I'll do what I want.
Hey man, don't get me started on that.
I won the pod already. You can't
Deli,
do
stop
nothing.
Fucking playing with me.
You gotta let me finish.
Don't make me mad on the podcast.
Let me have my tenor.
No, man.
Well, we're still planning on having Deli on the next 2 episodes. If anyone has any objections, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm speaking right now. I will not hold my peace.
It's a perfect transition into the wedding, the finale. Oh man, my main note in this episode is That rash is so gross.
It's gross.
Yeah.
So gross. Oh my god.
Some sick shit.
This episode has a lot of stuff I love. It's got a lot of stuff I like in it. There's some very funny stuff in it. But between the rash and also just like Mr. Lintonson being so insufferable, it was like this one was
this
like
is where I hate
it was
him.
hard to watch a lot of this one. But I did like it. I do think it's a good finale. But like there's some really funny stuff. I like how Brendan's rash kind of ruins everything, but I also like that it's scheduled at the same time as a funeral. And I love when Andrew and Linda just start like laughing maniacally.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Man, we'd never find out what happens after Andrew and Linda have that falling out. The wedding.
Yeah, it just kind of goes to the wedding. Like they just kind of jump forward. I feel like they should have included Andrew a little more and Linda a little more over the course of the season, to like flesh out that story a little bit.
Do you think they were compensating for like the like qualitative quantity of like what they were accounting for like how much they were in the other few rather than like how many episodes they were spread out?
Right, maybe because they're like main characters in all 3 episodes that they're in. They're like they're main characters.
It was like big shit.
Yeah, right. Totally. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's I do like. I guess the other thing that I keep thinking about is like they never really get into it, but I'm so curious like what the deal is with like did Andrew just leave like right after Brendan was born? Like why did it take so long? And he also doesn't seem to live far, so like why did he never call? You know?
Yeah,
he gave Brendan his camera, so I assumed that he was like a toddler or something, and then he just said I'm going out for milk and never came back. But the timeline is very weird because of course then you have to like factor in Josie, which we already talked about, but can really like it's kind of weird.
Who's in maybe 2 shots this whole season.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even remember it in this season.
Or like crazy. You get marbles and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the McGurk thing because I was confused.
Man, why my boy wasn't trying to get in that, man? Why my boy wasn't trying to duff? What happened?
But it seemed like his whole thing was like, Brendan, that's a sure thing. Like,
I gotta go get that. And then it's right there. He flirts with her intensely. She immediately is like, let's go back to my room. Like there is no other implication. What other implication is there? Like it is clear what's happening. Naked, fam. She takes the fucking.
But that's when he turns because that's when he's just like, oh, what's happening? I'm not okay with this. But like everything was leading there. He was barreling towards that as quickly as she was. And then he's just like, oh, what? I need to leave. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I don't get it. What the fuck? Yeah. It's so weird.
I don't get it either, man.
That's how it is. Pizza Club was setting us up for it. They were like, wow.
Did she move? Like, was that too fast for? Like, was it too forward for him? Like when was it like, because I could see him making that reaction if she had done something, because she like in her first episode she's kind of a little kooky, you know, like if she had done something that was like a little more out there to make him be like, oh, should I really go through with this, you know what I mean? But she really just like continues what they were starting, you know, like
right, yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't
she
get
was
it.
with the shit. My boy fumbled. He had to get up out of there.
I guess he's just used to being on like the losing end. And he really didn't know what to do. Like, you know, his deer in the headlights when he finally like could catch a dub.
Maybe it is that because like that's like a Bill Dauterive thing too. And King of the Hill.
It's like first time jitters.
It's like when Bill gets a win, he doesn't know how to react. It's like when there's an episode where Peggy, where he's helping her with her like pyramid scheme that she's been caught up in, and he's selling everything for her, and she like is so grateful, and she like gives him a kiss and is like, Bill Dauterive, you're like my hero, you're like or whatever. She like starts giving him all the attention that he clearly craves from Peggy, and he immediately is just like, what's happening? I can't process this. Right. And so maybe it's like that. Maybe it's something like that. But yeah, it was it just felt like he was being so he was like nailing it. Like, I mean, like, yeah, granted, it's because she's like a little, you know, it just worked out perfectly with this person. Like that they were both on each other's wavelengths until they weren't, I guess.
Damn, my boy fumbled, man.
It's a bummer.
Pour one out.
You guys, any other thoughts on the wedding?
The wedding is really fucked up. That's my last note. That shit is fucked by the end of this one.
All right, with Lindenson doing it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like Lindenson, I never really like disliked him intensely. Like, I mean, obviously he's like funny, but he's like surrounded by a bunch of bullshit. And I feel like the comedy was his way of coping. It's like, he doesn't mean to be, he's like, I don't mean to be a dick, Linda. It's just, I don't want to die. I don't want you to kill me. You know, he's dealing with shit.
Right. He thinks that Linda's going to kill him. That's his only way of
escaping.
I think the performance is really funny. Like, I get that he's super annoying and it's like kind of intentionally designed that way, but I think the performance is very good.
Did you know that the same dude that voices Lindenson voices Mort in Bob?
Oh, I did not know that. Oh, that's great. I love Mort. Mort's great. Man, that's funny. That's a very different voice.
Of Lindenson. Yeah. You can kind of hear it, but it's like, you know, it's definitely like a different ethos altogether.
It does feel like home movies, a lot of characters are like full-on caricatures. Like, they're just so big and ridiculous, like, you know. And Bob's Burgers, there's shades of that in Bob's Burgers characters, but a lot of them are like a lot of them are understated. Like, they're quirky but understated. And some are a little more ridiculous, but yeah, that's interesting. I'm excited. I guess we got to do Bob's on here at some point too. That's a lot. It's a lot of Bob's, man. Were they on season 13?
It's a lot.
TV.
There's so much stuff to talk about, you guys. All right, you guys got any other thoughts on the finale here?
Oh man, I think I got all my notes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, pretty strong finale.
It's a strong finale. What do you guys think about season 2 overall?
Ooh, Deli?
You can go first.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
It's Deli's podcast now.
So ungrateful. Fuck. All right, I don't have to hand you that Dubsky. All right, I already won.
Dubsky, don't talk to me that way. I like season 2. I like the way that it's animated. Like, extremely. I didn't remember it having like these kind of like serialized moments. All of that stuff really caught me by surprise. It was a pleasant surprise though. And I think the middle of the season is the best part of the season. Like, directly, like, there's like a 3 or 4 episode window in the middle that I think every single one of those is like really, really great. And I don't think there's any bad episodes this season, but some I was a little less interested in, like, stuff at the
some
bottom
are a little
of my
more
list.
forgettable.
Yeah. But the fucking movies are way better this year. They're all really fun.
They're so
I started
fun.
looking forward to them. They take the creative process in like a lot of really fun ways. They make Brendan go through a lot that a lot of young filmmakers go through, but they like scale it down. It's all really dope shit. Like, I like a lot of the stuff they do this season.
Me too. Del, you want to go?
That's right.
Yeah. I feel like I was foaming at the mouth earlier because I was like, therapy's so good. And I feel like I fumbled the Mr. Rogers comparison because I was thinking about it more. Because he said, like, you know, you don't have to do anything special for you to be loved. And home movies is like, you don't have to do anything crazy for you to fuck something up. You know, you could literally just be walking in the street and you could just set the whole world on fire. You know, every step of the way, these characters like find a way to just casually fail at life. And even so, like, you know, McGurk, of course, even when they're this close to getting a dub, you know, they can fumble it. They can just drop the ball in the middle of the court and just walk.
Right.
And there is some kind of grace to that futility. When I watch it, I think about like that scene from that special, that one special, where everything just goes wrong, and then this one guy steps out of the fog, and he says, "Well, you know what? The world did not end, Charlie Brown." That's like, to me, that's like
not a fucking special. It's a movie, you fucking dickhead.
It's a special to me, all right? It's only half special, okay?
He said it was special,
I'm
not that it was a special.
Peanuts guy. I'm, you know, yeah. I mean, to me, that's like what the show means, and I think season 2 is like the best expression of that. Everything else they do past this is like fun, but like, you know, this is like the time where they're trying to get serious and like reevaluate their priorities. And they did also say in the commentaries, like, you know, home movies, like season 1 is like a success story, and like Adult Swim disregard it very well, and they were very proud of what they did. And then season 2 was like, well, I mean, we got Futurama now, so, you know, you good kid, but you know,
right.
You're not hot shit anymore. So they still allowed them to do a lot of creative things, even if they were focusing on the other shows that they also brought back to life. And that's a very interesting dichotomy because of all of the amazing stuff that they did.
No doubt. I really like this season. Yeah, I kind of like the shifts that they make. I feel like it was very successful the way they shifted to a little bit more structured and scripted stuff. Even though maybe not all of the serialized stuff paid off as well as I feel like it could have. I really appreciate that it went for it. And like, I felt very invested in a lot of those stories ongoing, especially the stuff with Brendan and his dad and Linda. And yeah, this is, I think my favorite episode is coming up next season, but this one has so many of my favorite episodes and moments. And yeah, I love this show. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is a great show. Great show.
That's right.
Should we do the rankings? We got anything else?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let me see if I got them here. Okay. Number 13, Business and Pleasure. Number 12, Politics. Number 11, Writer's Block. Number 10, Pizza Club. Number 9, Impressions. Number 8, The Wedding. Number 7, Identifying a Body. 6, History. 5, Hiatus. 4, Class Trip. 3, Dad. 2, Therapy. 1, The Party.
We're kind of, I don't know. You'll see.
We'll see.
It's hard to describe what happened. 13, Pizza Club. 12, Business and Pleasure. 11, Identifying a Body. 10, Politics. 9, The Wedding. 8, Impressions. 7, Hiatus. 6, Writer's Block. 5, Dad. 4, Therapy. 3, Class Trip. 2, The Party. 1, History.
Nice.
13, Impressions. Number 12, Business and Pleasure. Number 11, Hiatus. Number 10, History. Number 9, Writer's Block. Number 8, Politics. Number 7, Identifying a Body. Number 6, Pizza Club. Number 5, Class Trip. Number 4, Dad. Number 3, The Party. Number 2, Therapy. Number 1, The Wedding.
But didn't you say that Therapy is your favorite episode of the whole show?
It is my favorite, but I felt like because The Wedding was a strong send-off that I felt like it was like tops.
Nice.
It's not my favorite, definitely. It's not even like the funniest.
But you would rank it there. Interesting.
I feel like it's, but it has the advantage because it's the last one, and you're supposed to do something big for it. So
true.
You can they're kind of interchangeable in my head, but
yeah, I feel
for clout. Yeah.
We all love the party. We all got the party high up there, right?
That's right. Party fucking rocks.
This is a good season. It's interesting. We it seems like Tariq, you and I mostly had ours like the same halves. You know, it feels like we had the same ones at the bottom, same ones at the top, but different order, save for a couple. And then Deli, you and I lined up a couple times, pretty much exactly, which is just a couple times, but. It's always so interesting to do these because I feel like we talk about them and we like come to a consensus and we mostly like agree and we're like, yeah, I agree, and then we do the rankings and we're all different.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, Deli, you want to plug anything?
It's Deli Wacky on Twitter.
That's right.
The Wacky Deli on YouTube. I'll try to put out some content for you to watch.
They got a lot of stuff up already. Go watch that.
And most of the long videos are good. So when in doubt, throw on that Kick Patowski, John. Maybe. I don't know.
Hell yeah, Tariq, you got anything coming up you're gonna plug?
Recess, baby. I'm gonna make it out the trenches soon.
Woo-woo.
They asking for it and they're going to get it. You know what I mean? It's written. I'm in the editing lab. You know what I mean? Let's see how long that goes.
Lab.
Back to the lab again. Back to the lab again. You messed up.
First video recorded and produced in this humble abodes, this apartment.
Oh, shit. That's big, man.
Yeah, right? It's a new era. You know what I mean? Is that really it? Is that really all I'm doing? I don't know, man. Listen to Sketch the Rhyme too.
Yeah.
Sketch the Rhyme.
Check out Cartoons That Curse.
Check out, whatever. Do that too. Sketch the Rhyme appearance by the Wacky Deli soon. I'm gonna have them on both pods.
Hell yeah.
At the same time.
I will win the podcast wars. Follow my descent into madness.
Deli's gonna take over that pod too, man.
Everybody in the comments, let me know how these glasses look. In the comments. Yeah, I don't know. Who I got.
And I guess the last thing I would like to say is I'm glad you asked about that thing. But what I like to do is sing. All right, actually, with that, I would like to thank Michael Yunez for producing and editing this podcast. I would like to thank Kerrifique for our incredible artwork. I would like to thank Jakeneutron for that wonderful theme song. I want to thank you, Tunerific Tariq, for being my co-host. Thank you, Wacky Deli, for being our guest for this whole mini-series. And thank you, audience, for listening. And also, thank you very much. Goodbye.